And we're back. Howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal back at it again, giving you that gay shit you love while jumping into more Final Fantasy 15. So last time we were here, we rescued a southern gentleman from peril, enjoyed some camping, plus I talked about the gay fantasy life that I would create with fictional characters as a teenager. This time around, we're going to go ahead and kill some monsters like this dual horn here, hunt for some treasure, and I'm going to talk about male bonding while being gay and why sometimes we have complicated relationships to that. So, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to work on actively improving my gameplay despite the fact that I just got smacked in the face there, and I'm going to try to work on my dodging timing a bit more so that I'm not getting hit as much. But anyway, I also turned on the captions like I promised, because y'all want to see what the characters are saying, and sometimes that gets drowned out when I am just blabbing or you're hearing the sounds of things getting murdered to death while I'm playing. But other than that, we're gonna kill this dual horn, and then there's some treasure to our south. I think that's the direction it's in that I want to pick up before we move back towards our actual objective. And on top of that, I should probably show I upgraded Prompto off screen through the Ascension system, and I'll go more into depth into Ascension later on, probably maybe in the next part. But for now, I'm going to just show that he has some new skills that he can use. And also, I probably need to fiddle with the map a little bit so that I can mark the areas I want to go to.
But out in the wild, it's kill or be killed.
I'm pretty sure it's in this direction. But double checking the map will help. So, actually I should be at the regular map, not the quest screen, because I'm looking for a treasure, not a quest objective. There we go, it's right there, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that now. But this episode's gonna probably not be that plot heavy again, just because we have to wrap up all these quests, and these are all side quests, so they're not really essential to the actual game. But they're fun to do, and it gives me an excuse to talk XD. But here are Prompto's new skills. He has Piercer, Star Shell, and Gravisphere. Those are mostly actually support abilities. I'm going to show off Prompto's Piercer probably... I'll show it off sooner than later. I don't know exactly when. When it feels right, I'll go ahead and do it. But I guess I should probably launch into the topic today. So what even got me thinking about male bonding or whatever is basically... Like I said, this game, part of its appeal for me is that you get to see all the characters interact and you get to see how close they are and stuff, and it's very interesting to see. Just because that's something I didn't really have when I was younger, you know what I mean? I don't know if y'all can relate, I'm assuming a lot of you can, but, you know, I didn't really have that many friends growing up. I was bullied a lot. And there were a lot of homophobic douchebags that just loved reminding me that they were homophobic all the time throughout my life as a kid. And so I didn't really have a lot of friends that I was close with, and I didn't have a lot of guys in particular that I was close with. And I think I could actually probably count the number of, like, boys my age that I was close friends with, probably on one hand, actually. In fact, probably on 2 or 3 fingers, but that changed when I became a teenager and I became a bit more confident and more able to assert myself and honestly protect myself too. But the whole reason I bring this up is, again, you get to see all these characters interacting and they really care about each other. And I think something people don't necessarily always talk about or understand is that men actually are very emotional and affectionate with each other. It's just that they do it in specific ways. And so the idea that guys are like really stoic and like unemotional, it isn't really true in my opinion, because I remember looking at my dad and seeing him interact with his friends when I was younger, and they were all really close and they all had encouragement and affection for each other. They just showed it in, I guess, manly ways. But, you know, when you're gay, sometimes you get excluded from that in a lot of ways. And I think a good way to think about this is that there's kind of a reason why a lot of us are friends with mostly women, you know what I mean, and girls growing up.
How far are we going?
In my experience, it's usually we either have no friends or like we're friends with a few girls and then maybe like one guy.
Yes, but not your run-of-the-mill.
And I mean, if you can't relate to this, that's fine, but you know, just think about it and oh shit, there's a thing we need to fight. Let's go ahead and put this combo on pause for a second.
What? Scared, big guy?
You ought to be too. Things vicious.
And see, this is an example of that intimacy, because they're like... the characters just touch each other a lot, you know what I mean? See, like this. Oh my gosh. That's actually very character establishing moments for Gladio and Ignis, and kind of Prompto. Gladio taking the front and being the one to immediately confront something, and Ignis kind of pulling everyone back together and snapping them out of their daze. Oh shit, son! Ah! Fuck, okay. Well, I warped out of it, so that's fine. But it's good to use Gladio's techniques on larger enemies, because great swords tend to be very good against big enemies, and two, they're good because they usually have a pretty wide AoE effect, and so it'll let you control multiple smaller enemies that are around a big enemy if you're fighting one of those. And in fact, that is probably why we have a short quest objective to have Gladio use that ability. I'm also going to show off Promptos right now, so go ahead and shoot him in the face, XD. And the benefit of that is it lowers the enemy defense, but sadly Prompto's stats are really low and they're going to always be low throughout the game. Plus, guns, his primary weapon, don't do a lot of damage and their base damage is pretty low.
Onward.
Ring, ring.
Okay, let's go ahead and pick up the phone. What's up? Oh shit, I'm clipping through its character model.
Dave just called and said he's safe. Thanks for finding him.
Ken?
Nice work, y'all. By the way, the old girl's looking good as new. Oh, while I got ya, if y'all want to fix her up before you roll out, let me know.
I mean, I'd be glad to have it fixed up.
Sounds good.
Let's get that
She'll
whip
be waiting at the
shining.
garage.
Gotcha.
So, now we probably should head towards Hammerhead, I guess, or actually we have the quest to take care of, so we should probably mark the next one. There we go. Okay, let's do that.
So,
But,
who's up next?
like I was trying to say before we had the actual game
Who
dropped
else
on
so you
us,
can keep 4 eyes on the
is
dash?
what we need to do
I couldn't even keep one.
is actually grab this real quick, and then I'm going to get back to what I was talking about before. Sorry.
'Cause I need
Got
to let
distracted
you
for a
back.
second. But, you know, I think this is almost like stereotypical a little bit, but I think it's pretty consistently true. A lot of gay guys don't really have that many male friends growing up. It's more like it's one or two guys, and then like most of our friends are either girls or we don't have friends, which is sad, but that's pretty consistent from what I've seen with my friends. And, you know, if that doesn't apply to you, that's fine, but consider that, you know, that's common enough that that's something that other people have as their experiences. But the reason why I even brought all that up is that we tend to be excluded from that kind of male intimacy, you know what I mean? So, like, I remember when I was younger, I would see guys like horseplaying around, and that's not really something that I was a part of. It was more like they would just bully me, you know what I'm saying? In some ways, that made it so that I was really uncomfortable with
Amazing how
people
few
interacting
we are out
with me
here.
in certain ways,
Far
and
cry from life back
that
home.
I basically didn't experience,
Rude to keep a girl waiting. You better
I don't
watch
know
it.
what to say, like, experience male intimacy in a lot of ways. It's really oh shit, son. Hello.
That thing's like half bird, half storm, half airship.
So this is gonna happen a few times throughout the game. There's just gonna be random shit that appears in, like, these cutscenes, and I think we can follow it and go kill it. I'm not sure, honestly. As you may or may not remember, I have only really looked through the cutscenes of this game. I haven't actually watched, like, a full-on Let's Play, so this is still pretty fresh to me. Anyway, TLDR, I was a big ol' homo, and I didn't basically get to play with all the other boys. Wah wah. And this game is reminding me that that was my experience, because, you know, I really can't relate to getting pats on the back and getting handshakes and shit. That's just really weird. Like, I'm gay and I don't like to be touched. And if you can relate, you're woke, honestly. Or alternatively, you also were bullied, which is probably not that great. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch out Prompto's abilities real quick, because Starshell is a pretty unique ability that he has that can attract enemies to it. And if we're fighting multiple enemies at one time, it will be useful for keeping them all kind of gathered up in one area. And hopefully, if I strategize right, we can follow up with Galio's Galio? Oh shit, I think I'm playing League of Legends. Gladio's AoE technique. But at the same time, you know, I don't think it's necessarily like 100% sad that I have that different kind of socialization, or like that different kind of interaction with guys growing up, because it was replaced with basically gay interactions, which are pretty neat. And something, you know, I don't know if I've mentioned this in a video before, but, you know, being in college or just being around gays in a setting where you're not competing with each other for men, because that definitely complicates something. You know, I have never really been told that I love you, or that you are loved as much as I have been when I was around gay people. Like, it is so wild. Like, everyone constantly wants to hug each other and say I love you or I care about you, and it's just really wild. And I know that that's not, like, actually, like, something that all gay people do, and that's why I kind of gave my disclaimer. It's like,
I bet you must have felt cramped in the
if
city.
you
Is that a crack about my size?
are in a situation like a club where you're fucking competing with each other for dick, or like whatever genitals that you're interested in, it's gonna be different. Like, you're not gonna have these happy, peaceful interactions because it's a war zone. But if you have a situation where you're not competing and you all feel comfortable with oh shit, I'm getting bald. Ow, my face. I probably should put this convo on pause, but I'm gonna be defiant. I'm gonna keep fucking talking. So, Gladio, you take care of it, maybe. Actually, let's use Starshell and see if this works out.
Sorry.
Oh, that wasn't close enough, was it? No, it wasn't. Well, damn it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep talking and hope that the circle button carries me through this fight. But it's just, you know, when gay people aren't competing with each other, or they're not afraid of each other, because that's also, you know, a big thing. I think a lot of gays tend to be really afraid of other gays, and they deal with it by being mean and kind of acting out and being a little bit bitchy. But you know, we just have a lot of love to give each other, and it's really cute, and it's really sweet, and it's just a different form of intimacy, and I'm glad to have it, honestly. But, you know, nothing's set in stone. I mean, gays horseplay and do stupid, silly shit that, you know, straight guys would do also, and, you know, we do some things that women also would do, and, you know, it's just all about finding yourself in what you're comfortable with. But I think that's enough for that topic today. I have talked a lot already, and I haven't really even talked about the game at all. But that's kind of what this is going to be about, in between, like, doing stuff for the main quest, y'all. Like, this game, there's a lot of fucking walking in it, and when you're not walking, you're driving, and you're exploring, so there's not really going to be a lot for me to talk about other than really the gay shit that I feel like talking about, XD. Get fucked, nerd. Get fucked, get fucked, get fucked. Okay. We got 2 more to kill, I think. Get wrecked, son. I might actually switch out the weapons I'm using. I don't know. I should probably show off the daggers. They have really interesting looking combos. If you're ever watching Ignis on the screen, he actually uses daggers as his primary weapon. and he makes it look really cool, and that's also part of the reason why you can tell he's a big old homosexual, because he just really adds a lot of dramatic shit into his combos. Like, that queen will just be doing cartwheels and just flipping around and showing out, really for no reason. Like, him doing a cartwheel in the middle of a combo is just so entirely extra, and honestly, I fucking live for it, which is why I'm using these daggers right now, because I'm about it. It's really interesting to see him do that. And that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's part of his personality, but he has like this really interesting habit of like, not necessarily being smug, but like showing off. And he has a very, I don't know what to, like a very I told you so personality, and he tends to gloat a little bit, which is very interesting. Because that's, you know, part of my growth as a homosexual. I used to be really meek when I was younger, but now I'm a little bit more, well, that's not true. I would go back and forth between being really meek and then also being like really like, you can't fuck with me or tell me shit about nothing. And I don't know, I think that's, honestly, that's a very gay balance in a lot of ways, because there's some people where you're like, don't tell me what to do, basically, like, shut up, nerd. And there's some people where you're like, actually, I'm kind of afraid of you, so I need to back off. But I don't know, I know when to hold them and when to fold them, I think. I think I do. I'd like to say I do. But, Ignis, why are you like this? It's just, I also really like his walk style, I meant to say walk cycle. Got a bronze bangle. Because it reminds me of myself when I stopped really monitoring the way I walked a lot as a younger person. Because I remember I used to always be really paranoid that I looked really gay when I was walking when I was younger. In part because people would say shit about it all the time. But as I got older, I was like, I don't give a fuck, honestly. Like, I remember in high school just being like, you know what? I'm gonna just be as gay as I fucking want, and people can deal, and if they can't deal, like, square up, nerd. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this convo on pause, because I think we should cut the video here. Oh my god, my queen. Why is